show in the whole last year that led him to this point of getting a scholarship?
Yeah, came here as a walk-on out of the junior college ranks, and if you know his story, which I do, really close with the Tonga-Vailoa family, and came in just one of those guys that does any and everything that you ask. It's like the ultimate team member, teammate. Last year, he really filled a lot of roles, whether it was special teams, filling in as a backup running back. But, I think the best thing he did was he brought great energy and great passion each and every day, and it kind of has rubbed off. He's one of our most beloved players.
Was it obvious, or whose idea was it that Talia was going to be the one to get to say it?
Yeah, for me, I knew how close those two were. It'd be easy for me to do it, but, the Ravens have been great to us. 2 of the last 3 years we've gone there, and we've awarded a scholarship to a walk-on. And so when we had the leaders go down on the field with me, we kind of didn't tell Leah till right before, because we didn't want him to kind of give it away and take away from the suspense of it. But no, I thought it was fitting for Leah to be able to do it because of how close those two are.
Where did the idea come from to give out the scholarship during a Ravens preseason?
As we all know, we always try to find a unique way to reward it, because it's a special moment for walk-ons. These are guys that play the game because they love it and they want to, not because they get a scholarship or a check. And so, anytime you can reward them and then also publicly do it, really helps the morale, and it's great that it happens. And we've been fortunate, like I said, that the Ravens have been great partners with us when we've gone up there for games 2 of the last 3 years, and it just was a great way for us to kind of reward them and do it publicly.
How soon did you let his parents know? Because he mentioned to us that his parents knew about it before he did.
Yeah, we called them the day of, just because we didn't want to, again, give it away. Wanted to kind of give them a heads up that if they had a chance to maybe see the game, because I know it was being telecast, that they may have an opportunity to see it happen. So day of, on our way up there, our operations people, Abir, called and kind of let the parents know that it was going to be happening.
Shifting focus to camp, you've talked about how you want your players to have a certain mindset with them bubbling at the hotel and coming here. Have you seen that kind of come to fruition these last 2 weeks?
You know what, I've been really pleased with where we are with camp. As I said, after the scrimmage Saturday, there's been a competitiveness that I hadn't seen since I've been here. And, obviously we've increased our depth, we've increased our talent level, which allows that to happen. As I like to say, you start seeing the player-driven culture really surface, especially when you have hot days like today, and we've been able to get out and really have to work through some of the weather adversity. We've had a rain day, we've had some really hot days, and I like the way that they've responded collectively. Has it been perfect? No, we still got a lot of work to do, but I do like the way this team is moving forward toward our goal, which is to put a team out on the field September 4th that knows what to do and will do it with the right kind of discipline and handle the type of adversity that will happen during a game the right way.
Piggybacking on that question, what do you want to see from your team going into week 3? What progression do you want to see from them?
Yeah, for us, it's this scrimmage. This is the second and basically the last scrimmage before we actually play the game. And so, as a staff, we've had some personnel meetings. We're starting to try to work groups together to see, hey, what roles guys are developing for themselves. And in this scrimmage, it'll be a little more mixed matching and really as if we were playing the game this week. And so what we need to do is see which of these young players that we've recruited will be able to help us in any of the 3 phases, and then continue to let the other guys define what kind of roles they'll have. Who are the guys that we count on to make plays for us, offensively, defensively, and special teams. And so, with this, 2 weeks out, this next week is going to be really important for players to really define the roles that they'll have and help us as we start preparing for West Virginia.
Will the scrimmage be kind of the same format that the last one was?
It'll be a situational scrimmage, but we'll hit a few different situations that we didn't get the first scrimmage.
What are you going to see? What do you want to see out of your running back room? And kind of follow up to that. I know you had Jake Funk last year, but a chance to kind of have multiple options this year. How do you feel like it helps the rushing attack, just knowing that you have multiple different guys that can get the job done?
Well, with me and the running backs, we've always kind of been a running back by committee room. The day of one guy carrying it 35, 40 times just isn't beneficial because you want a fresh guy out there. And we're very fortunate with Tayon Fleet Davis coming back for that super senior year and being able to have his experience, but then the game experience we were able to get Penny and Isaiah last season, and then been really impressed, like I said, with the two freshmen. So we've been able to create some depth with anything in the running back room. It starts with protecting the football, making sure that the guys are possessing the ball, but then protecting the quarterback and doing all the little things without the football, which is key at that position.
Coach, how has the new place worked out for you? You're getting the benefits that you anticipated from the Jones Hill house?
Yeah, I mean, it's been great. I mean, the setup and the way it's developed for us to be able to, our meeting rooms, we're able to go into meeting rooms and come right out the door and be on the practice field, which when it's teaching and installing, a great benefit. So a lot of thought was put into how this building is laid out and set up, and it's definitely beneficial for the development of your players. And as I said, very player-centric in terms of how the building was put together. And it's been great to be able to have such a great facility.
Coach, I didn't see Jay Sean Jones with the team when we walked to practice.
Didn't.
I didn't see.
Oh man, he was out here, but
oh my God, that's
he
on me.
just maybe wasn't in uniform.
Okay,
he was out here. I thought
sorry.
he should have been at practice. No, as what happens when you get into this time of camp, you give guys some days off. The nicks and bruises, the everyday, not real concerned. Today was one of those days where we wanted to give them a little extra time as we get into. I think this is practice 14 for us. The receivers and DBs tend to put a lot of mileage on, and we're doing all of the GPS system stuff, and so we chart the player load, but the expectation is he'll be able to play for us come West Virginia week.
Can you feel the benefit of having a stable quarterback situation, a returning starter when you're out here in the fall?
Having spent a lot of years at Maryland and having dealt with the instability of the quarterback room, it definitely is a pleasure to have a returning guy like Leah, and then to be able to add a guy like Reese, and then the development of David and as well as Eric has really been great to have, because we all know that have been here for any amount of time that the quarterback room has really been one of those rooms that, and again, I hate even talking about it because I want to make sure I don't jinx us, but no, it's great to have a returning starter that understands the system, and then to add and get the depth from a guy like Reese, and the development of the other two has really helped our team.
Can you talk a little bit about the progression of some of the younger defensive backs, like Bo Braid getting to play under so many experienced veterans?
Yeah, Bo was a guy that played last year for us some, and as I like to say, anytime we're going to always be in a developmental mode with these young players, and I want to try to get them on the field because, as we all know, injuries are part of the game, and even last year with COVID, not knowing who was going to be available, we made a conscious effort to develop our backups and make sure that they get enough plays so that come year two, it's not like they've never done it before. So Bo is one of those guys that has benefited from those type of reps. Corey Coley getting in there early, a January grad, and being able to go through spring ball, I think that's really helped him. Guys like Glendon Miller, I'm really pleased with the way the young secondary has been playing, and they're doing a great job of communicating, and I think that'll be one of the strengths of our team.
Coach, you talked in the past about how this is the one time a year where your guys can kind of 24/7 focus on football, and that goes for your coaches as well. How do you think both of those groups have responded to this camp?
I hope we better be 24/7 with coaches all year long. I mean, for us, we do have a lot of hats to wear, obviously during the season, making sure that the guys are being the best students, the best players, and then being the best people off the field. But anytime you get to spend the time we have out here and putting the installs together, and as I said, I've been really pleased with, and a lot of the work was done this summer by the group. The player run practices this summer, I think they had 100% availability, meaning everybody was here all summer long, and it's really benefited us as we move into year three.
One thing you've talked about a few times is self-inflicted wounds and kind of cleaning up the mistakes. Is there anything you've kind of done specifically over the last week or so to kind of work on that and improve on that?
Well, I mean, again, it's like I use the raising kid analogy a lot. You constantly are talking to your guys about doing things with the right kind of discipline. As we all know, if you've had an 18 to 22-year-old, discipline is something that you can't just talk about. We do everything we can. We have referees out here at practice to to chart penalties. Each day we keep a tab of the self-inflicted wounds. Like on offense, we call it our margin of error. On defense, missed assignments, missed tackles, and then we show them on tape. And so, what we hope is by continuing to hold them accountable, making sure we are showing them it on tape and talking about it, and sometimes, the physical reminders of when you jump off sides or, get a holding call, that we have some physical reminder things that we do. We'll continue to do that, but as I've said before, that's going to be really critical for us this season. Two main things for us is being a team that will we play with discipline, and then the second will be how we respond when we face adversity.
Take one more.
And when you've looked at kind of the group of tight ends that you have right now, either were here and didn't play much on the field or new faces, what have you been seeing in camp that's really impressed you from them?
Yeah, last year was a tough one for our tight end position. As anybody that knows us, the type of offense we run, we want to have the multiple sets that tight ends bring. And, last year with Chig opting out and Malik being kind of injured, we had to move Corey Dyches in to tight end near the end of the year. But it's been great because we filled some needs in recruiting with the two freshmen, Weston and CJ coming in, and they both luckily were here during the spring to go through spring practice, and I've been happy kind of the depth that we've created, but also just the production that we've gotten out of the position during the course of training camp.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.